Hi, this is Ian Hamilton. I'm managing editor at uploadvr.com. Here's David.
Yep.
We're here at Oculus Connect 6. We just finished day one and got quite a number of demos and an overwhelming keynote earlier, and we wanted to go over some of our impressions of the various things. David, why don't you talk about games?
So the biggest one, obviously, is Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, which was just announced today. It is by Respawn Entertainment, the same people behind Titanfall, Titanfall 2, Apex Legends, the upcoming Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Very prolific AAA studio that has been doing a lot of really cool stuff ever since they were founded. And they're working on an exclusive Oculus shooter. We didn't know what it was, but now we know it's Medal of Honor. It's the first new Medal of Honor game in 7 years, which is crazy. And it was really the first cinematic World War II shooter. And obviously it had a huge impact. It led to games like Call of Duty, Battlefield blowing up. We wouldn't have any of those if it wasn't for Medal of Honor. And so now this is kind of a return to the roots for the team at Respawn, because Vince Zampella, one of the founders of Respawn, actually worked on Medal of Honor Allied Assault, which is often considered to be one of the best Medal of Honor games. And then he went on and founded Infinity Ward, did Call of Duty, and now he's at Respawn. So this guy knows his way around shooters. And it's going to be really interesting to see how the game performs in VR. All I got to see was a few levels of single player. If you want to see my full impressions, you can see that over on our YouTube channel here. I have a full impressions video as well as a detailed analysis that I wrote on uploadvr.com.
But I also tried Asgard's Wrath with Oculus Link. Only a few minutes, and felt like Asgard's Wrath. I mean, in a quest with a tether, it's pretty magical to have that functionality work. So yeah, that was one of the big demos of today, was to try the Oculus Link. They had a 5-meter cord, very long cord to demonstrate it with. It felt great. It felt fine.
So that cord is just USB-C to USB-C?
So I was asking Oculus and trying to get the specifics on it, because I wanted to see and understand the mechanics of whether Steam VR content that's Rift compatible is able to come over that same cord. It sounds like it's going to be handled just like a Rift. I was teasing Facebook. You have no idea how badly I want to install Steam VR on your machine over there and just see what happens.
I think one of the other benefits of that I hadn't thought about until you just mentioned the length of the cord is, you should be able to buy a long USB-C cord, and that would really improve the quality of the experience for people that have a large play space, but they weren't able to take advantage of it with the Rift S because of the cord not being super long.
I felt like I tested the hand tracking on Quest here more thoroughly. Still not as thoroughly as I'm sure some people would love. There's still a lot of time for them to improve the functionality, but I think the hand tracking demo was easily my favorite of Oculus Connect. So 4 cameras on the Quest are able to recognize all my finger movements. If I put my hands together like this, it would lose my hands. If I looked away and then looked back, it would take about a second for the hands to snap back into place and reappear in front of me. It was just really impressive to be able to do this and have it really pick up on that really accurately.
Okay.
And all these little movements where my
awesome.
fingers are blocked theoretically by some of the cameras. If I put my fingers together like this, the virtual world would show a little space.
Okay.
So it wasn't perfect, but it was enough to really impress me.
Sounds really close. Yeah, I'm not sure what the application for that would be in a game, but
well, fast movements would break it too. So that's a game killer for a lot of uses.
Sure. I got to try Echo Arena on Quest. Overall, I would say it's a really good port. I mean, if you play Echo Arena already on a Rift or a Rift S, and you're used to that more tracking volume, you're not going to decide to switch over to Quest. There's obviously people know what the limitations of the Quest tracking are. It can't see back here at all. It can't see above your head really. So there's a lot of techniques in Echo Arena that won't be as viable on Quest. Visually, it looks good. I think the character models of people that aren't the main character, everyone else, they're lower quality, but it's still an alpha. They said there's no release date yet. So there's still time to improve that. I guess one of the other main demos I did was The Room, which is a VR version of the franchise that's been around on iOS for a long time. It's one of the original escape room puzzle games. It was really impressive. Visually it looked amazing. It was all teleport movement, room scale on Quest. But they did tell us it will be coming to every headset. It's going to be on PSVR, Rift, Steam VR, everything.
I tried Horizon 2. That's Facebook's metaverse, whatever you want to call it.
Facebook
Oasis.
Rec Room.
Yeah, Facebook Rec Room. That was an interesting demo because they showed me 3 different worlds, and the first 2 were made in VR in Horizon. But then they put me into a 3rd world that was built in Unity. So they're showing flexibility there of the types of tool sets you want to make. They said basically the difference between the 3rd world I had, which was like a flying game, a fully interactive flying game with multiple players, and I'm piloting a plane with my hand. But it's a very large, like Quidditch sized arena. The first 2 worlds had very limited interactions. So the first demo was like a Rec Room-esque version of Rock'em Sock'em Robots, where I put my arms into these virtual gloves, and then that was like locking into this robot control, this big mech that's in front of me. And then we punched each other. And I went back downstairs, teleported to a new world, and then saw this other world where they showed me some of their creation tools. Like they used the tools to alter the world a little bit.
But you didn't get to try
But
them
I
yourself.
didn't get to actually use creation tools myself.
I'm hoping for some interconnectivity with Home on Rift. And I'm hoping that I can turn on my Rift and be in my home like I am now, and then from there I can go into Horizon and I can invite people back to my home.
I had an interview with the Horizon product managers, as well as some other people at Oculus. But it was an interesting talk to try to understand sort of the ways they're trying to differentiate themselves from what's already existed. The very first thing that they showed in that demo was the block button. You flip your controller over and there's a little tab and you click on it and it blocks the person right in front of you, instantly mutes them, they fade away. The thing that I loved most about Horizons was the avatars. I thought they had really done some great work.
Those are new avatars, right? They're not the standard ones that are already
They
out
looked
there.
different to me. They looked a little bit more expressive. So they put me in front of a mirror and had me do thumbs up, thumbs down, and as I did that, the face in the mirror altered to be a sad and a happy.
The last demo that I got to try was Stormland. That one is, we already know, it's extremely impressive, very excited for that. Comes out in mid-November. We did a co-op demo today, which we already have coverage of on uploadvr.com. But I'll probably be writing some more coverage as well. That I'm really excited for that game. So those are our impressions from the first day of Oculus Connect 6. Tomorrow we're going to be back here again. John Carmack has a keynote. We have a bunch of meetings, a bunch more demos we didn't get a chance to do today. How was your day? I haven't seen you all day.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. Well, so first off, I took David's appointment to start off my day after the Carmack keynote.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
And that was an Nreal demo. That's an AR headset that did not work. So I have nothing else to say about Nreal.
Generally speaking, AR tech demos are just not impressive in and of themselves.
Yeah.
They're impressive because you can imagine what it will do in the future.
Yeah. So let's move on from AR and talk about the cool VR things.
One of the games I played today is Curious Tale of the Stolen Pets by Fast Travel Games. And that's a very simple game. It's puzzles with little floating islands. You spin them around, you manipulate them, you search for these pets that are hiding or missing. And all of them have little different puzzles. Like there was a train going through a mountain. I had to reroute the train to break a block of ice, to get a hammer, to break something else, to get a blow dryer, to melt this ice. It was all very layered puzzle solving. And a game like that, there was no reason why I needed touch controllers. I could have easily just poked and clicked on stuff with my fingers. So stuff like that's very puzzle focused. I think I could see myself playing a game if the dev implemented that. But I mean, so to the point though, Curious Tale, that it was impressive. I liked it a lot. It's very charming, very simple.
We should talk about Oculus Link more. But yeah, you went and tried it today. And what
I
were
did.
your...
It was Asgard's Wrath. I got close to 20 minutes in it. But the downside to my demo was it was non-combat. It was only walking around inside the
So
tavern.
no fast movements on your arms?
No fast movements required, I mean, I did them still, but it wasn't, you know, swinging a sword, blocking, parrying stuff. That's what I wanted, but the demo was only walking around the tavern. That being said, I tried to do pretty much everything I could imagine I would do in the game. I, you know, pretended to fight, basically, looked like an idiot, but it worked pretty much fine. I mean, having played the game and the Rift S so much over the past months, and having seen what, you know, like a really high quality PC VR experience can look like, I could tell a difference. You know, you can tell that it's not the same quality. It seems like there's some kind of compression going on, just a little,
The frame rate's
ever
there
so
too,
slightly.
right? I mean, just
Yeah, the frame rate's at 72. We have heard that directly from Facebook. It doesn't go up at all at the moment. So it is still at 72.
Carmack, of course, blamed the FCC in,
Yeah.
in his keynote, which is incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really notice any latency issues. And I mean, Carmack talked about latency a little bit, but I mean, for his eye is much more articulated than mine. I don't notice that kind of stuff. Usually, if it works generally fine, then to me, I feel like it meets that bar of good. I think it exceeds the bar of good enough. There were a few other demos I tried today. I spoke with the developers of Stormland again. This is the first time I've been able to speak with them openly, pretty much about anything I wanted to know about the game. So I had like a 15-minute long interview with the game director, and he went into a lot of detail about not only how co-op works, but just the general flow of how the game will be. So it's, you know, they've talked about the fact that it's going to be ever-changing, right? Every so often the game's going to kind of reshuffle the environment around, elements will change and all that kind of stuff. But after talking to him, I have a better vision of it now. So it's it's definitely a live game. For co-op, the way they described it is it'll basically be just like drop in, drop out. And if you are on the same mission as your friend and you jump into his game or he jumps into your game, your progress is saved. So if you're on the same mission, I go into your world and we play it together, and I go back to mine, then I've already done that mission. I don't have to replay it in my world. They've really put a lot of thought into how the game works. And I mean, it's Insomniac. You know, this is one of the most experienced developers in the world, not just in VR, but just period.
Building, you know, a Sony studio building for...
Sony now owns Insomniac and all of Insomniac's IP. So that means Edge of Nowhere, Unspoken, Stormland, Sony...
We're not going to talk about the other one.
Feral Rights, no, that didn't happen. Technically, if Sony wanted to fund a future game using that IP, they could. But Oculus would need to agree to allow them to port it, which I don't think would ever happen. But for example, if I don't know, if they wanted to make a new Unspoken game, they could use that IP.
But it would have to be a completely new game.
Yeah, but the IP rights are with Sony now.
Since I've been to every Oculus Connect, and I've seen the demos in the hallway. Oh, I have to
Excuse
mention
me.
that again. I mention it every year. No, there's demos in the hallways. People bring out their hardware, and they set up their laptops, and 2 Oculus sensors typically, or 3 Oculus sensors in some ridiculous situations. And they try to bring people in and let them see. And there was definitely a difference this year of just so many people with their Oculus Quest cases.
Yeah.
Opened up everywhere and then bringing people in. It was really neat to see that evolution happen right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, I would say there were easily more demos going on outside the show floor than in the show floor.
If they're going to keep doing Oculus Connects in the future, they are going to have to kind of redo the demo experience from here on out, because I would bring my own VR headset. I would bring my own Quest to this conference if I could stick a USB stick into the side, download a build from someone, and I don't even have to share someone else's headset. I'm using my own headset.
Or outside.
Yeah, there's 4 people on Quests out on the...
Yeah, I think
out
they
here.
finally stopped, but they've been doing some sort of shared location experience.
I think it was a satanic ritual.